Are you an empath, or are you carrying unhealed wounds disguised as empathy? This 10-minute video explores why many who identify as empaths are actually people pleasers, using Carl Jung's teachings on the shadow and individuation. Discover actionable steps to heal, reclaim your power, and embrace true self-awareness. Reflect, grow, and choose yourself today. Hey, have you ever felt like you're carrying the weight of everyone else's emotions? Like you're so in tune with others' feelings that it's hard to know where they end and you begin? You might call yourself an empath, and I get it. I've been there too. But what if I told you that what you think is empathy might actually be something deeper, something unhealed? Today, we're diving into why most empaths aren't empaths at all. They're unhealed people pleasers. And we're going to use Carl Jung's powerful teachings to uncover what's really going on in your heart and mind. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll have clarity, actionable steps, and a new perspective on your emotional world. Let's get started. So, let's break this down. The term empath gets thrown around a lot these days. It's almost trendy to say, I'm an empath, right? But here's the thing, being highly sensitive to others' emotions doesn't always mean you're an empath in the truest sense. Carl Jung, the brilliant psychologist, would argue that what we often call empathy is sometimes a projection of our unhealed wounds. Let's unpack that. Jung believed our unconscious mind holds parts of ourselves we don't want to face. Our shadow. The shadow is all the stuff we push down, our fears, insecurities, and even our need for approval. For many of us who identify as empaths, that shadow might include a deep-rooted need to please others, often at the expense of our own needs. Ask yourself, when was the last time you said yes to someone when every part of you screamed no? That's not empathy, that's people-pleasing. Here's how it works. If you grew up in an environment where you felt you had to earn love, maybe by being the good kid or always putting others first, you might have learned to prioritize others' emotions over your own. Over time, this becomes a habit. You start absorbing everyone's feelings, thinking it's your job to fix them. Jung would say this is your unconscious mind trying to resolve those old wounds, but instead of healing, you're stuck in a cycle of self-sacrifice. Let's look at an example. Imagine Sarah, who always knows when her friend is upset before they say a word. She feels their pain so deeply that she spends hours comforting them, even when she's exhausted. Sounds like an empath, right? But here's the catch. Sarah ignores her own boundaries, cancels her plans, and feels guilty if she doesn't save her friend. That's not empathy in the way Jung would define it. It's a sign of unhealed people-pleasing. True empathy, Jung would argue, comes from a place of wholeness, where you can feel for others without losing yourself. So, how do you know if you're an empath or an unhealed people-pleaser? Let's do a quick check-in. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, do I feel drained after being around certain people? Do I struggle to say no even when I'm overwhelmed? Do I feel responsible for fixing others' problems? If you're nodding along, you might be carrying some unhealed wounds. Jung's concept of individuation is key here. Individuation is the process of becoming your true self by integrating all parts of you, light and shadow, for so-called empaths. This means facing the part of you that feels unworthy unless you're helping others. It's about recognizing that your sensitivity is a gift, but only if it's balanced with self-respect. Jung believed that true wholeness comes when we stop projecting our inner struggles onto others and start owning our emotions. Here's some actionable advice to start healing. First, practice setting boundaries. Next time someone unloads their emotions on you, try saying, I hear you, and I'm here, but I need to take care of myself too. It's not selfish, it's self-preservation. Second, journal about your shadow. Ask yourself, What am I afraid to admit about my need to please others? Maybe you're scared of being rejected or seen as not enough. Write it down. Let it out. Jung said the unconscious speaks through our emotions, so listen to what yours are saying. Another real-world example. Think of Michael, who always felt he had to be the strong one in his family. He took on everyone's problems, thinking it was his role as an empath. But after years of burnout, he started exploring Jung's teachings. Through journaling and therapy, he realized his empathy was actually a fear of disappointing others. By setting boundaries and prioritizing his own needs, Michael began to feel lighter, more authentic. He didn't lose his sensitivity, he just learned to use it from a place of strength. Let's reflect again. What would it look like for you to choose yourself today? Maybe it's saying no to a request that doesn't align with your energy. Maybe it's taking 10 minutes to meditate and reconnect with your own emotions. The goal isn't to stop caring about others, it's to care about yourself just as much. Here's one more insight from Jung. He believed that our dreams and emotions are messages from the unconscious, guiding us toward healing. If you're constantly overwhelmed by others' feelings, it might be your unconscious saying, "Hey, it's time to look within, try this." Before bed, ask yourself, what part of me needs attention right? What am I ignoring? You might be surprised by what comes up in your dreams or quiet moments. So, here's the truth. Being an empath is beautiful, but it's not about losing yourself in others' emotions. It's about feeling deeply while staying rooted in your own power. If you've been calling yourself an empath but feel drained, guilty, or resentful, it's time to ask, am I truly empathic, or am I an unhealed people pleaser? Carl Jung would remind us that the path to wholeness, individuation, starts with facing our shadow and choosing ourselves. Here's your challenge. This week, take one small step towards setting a boundary. Say no to something that doesn't serve you, or take 10 minutes to journal about what you're carrying that isn't yours. You deserve to feel whole, not fragmented. If this video resonated with you, leave a comment below and share your story. What's one boundary you're ready to set? Hit that like button if you're ready to start this journey, and subscribe for more videos on self-discovery and emotional healing. Let's keep growing together. Until next time, choose yourself and keep shining.